Imagine you're coming home late on a Tuesday night. The house is quiet, the lights are dimmed, and the only sound is the hum of the refrigerator. You walk into the bedroom, and there she is, lying on her side, scrolling through her phone. You lean over to kiss her forehead, and she doesn't pull away, but she doesn't lean in either. She's just still. You think, she's probably just tired. Long day at the office, we're in a good groove. But you are completely, dangerously blind to the reality of that silence. In that exact moment, while you were worrying about your fantasy football draft or the meeting you have tomorrow morning, she was mentally auditing the last 3 years of your relationship. She wasn't just scrolling through Instagram, she was looking at a digital scrapbook of a life she no longer feels connected to. There is a fatal flaw in the way men are conditioned to monitor the health of their relationships. We are taught to look for the check engine light. We look for the screaming matches, the dramatic ultimatums, or the caught text messages. We believe that as long as the house isn't actively on fire, the foundation is solid. But for a woman, the fire isn't the end. The fire is the last-ditch effort to save the house. The real end happens in the quiet, microscopic changes that men are biologically and psychologically prone to ignore. Today, we are going to dissect the anatomy of the quiet change. We are going to explore the 3 specific, silent shifts in a woman's behavior that signal the emotional engine has already stalled, and I'm going to give you the exact, unshakable masculine intervention required to jumpstart the heart of your relationship before she quietly closes the door for good. Before we dive into this critical breakdown, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and drop a comment below saying, "I am paying attention." Your engagement is the only way this message breaks the algorithm and reaches the men who are high-fiving themselves for having a low-maintenance relationship, completely unaware they are losing the woman they love. The myth of the easy relationship. To understand the quiet changes, you must first understand the comfort trap. Men are biologically wired to seek a baseline of peace. We fight our battles in the world, in our careers, in the gym, in the hunt for resources, so when we come home, we want a sanctuary. We want our partners to be a soft place to land. But there is a dark side to that soft landing. When a man gets too comfortable, he stops being a participant and starts being a passenger. He mistakes a woman's silence for contentment. He thinks that because she stopped complaining about the dishes, or the lack of date nights, or the way he ignores her when he's on his phone, that she has finally chilled out. The reality is far more chilling. Feminine energy is dynamic. It is expressive. It thrives on resonance and feedback. When a woman is invested, she provides friction. She challenges you. She pushes for more depth. When that friction disappears, it's not because you've reached relationship nirvana. It's because she has decided that you are no longer worth the energy it takes to fight. Let's break down the 3 invisible shifts that indicate she has entered the audit phase. Shift 1. The withdrawal of the micro-bids. When a woman is deeply in love with a man, she is constantly throwing out what psychologists call bids for connection. These aren't big, dramatic requests. They are microscopic. It's her saying, "Look at this weird bird I saw today." Or, "Do you like this new candle?" Or just lightly touching your shoulder as she walks past you in the hallway. She is checking the ping. She is sending out a signal to see if you are still there, if you are still paying attention, and if you are still her protector and partner. The first quiet change men ignore is when these bids vanish. She stops showing you the memes. She stops telling you about the annoying thing her boss said. She stops asking for your opinion on her outfit. The oblivious man loves this. He thinks, "Finally, I can watch the game in peace without her interrupting me with random stories." He doesn't realize that she hasn't stopped having those stories. She has just started telling them to someone else. Her sister, her best friend, or a co-worker. She has realized that her pings are being sent to a dead satellite, so she has redirected her frequency. When a woman stops inviting you into her inner world, it's because she's already building a new one without you. Shift 2. The competence pivot. The single woman rehearsal. In a healthy, masculine, feminine dynamic, a woman wants to lean on your strength. She wants to feel the structural security of your competence. If she's mentally rethinking the relationship, she initiates the competence pivot. She stops asking you to help her with anything. If the sink is leaking, she doesn't tell you. She watches a YouTube video and fixes it herself. or she hires a plumber without mentioning it. If her car makes a weird noise, she handles it on her lunch break. If she's struggling with a heavy career decision, she doesn't vent to you at night. She makes the call and tells you the result 3 days later. You might look at this and think, wow, she's so independent. I've finally got one of those strong women who doesn't need a babysitter. You are celebrating your own obsolescence. Every time she solves a problem without you, her nervous system records a data point. I don't actually need him for survival. She is emotionally test driving being single while still living in your house. She is weaning herself off the drug of your protection. By the time she actually leaves, she won't feel the panic of being alone because she's been functioning alone for months. Shift 3. The departure from the future tense. Listen very carefully to the way she speaks about time. When a woman is committed, her vocabulary is anchored in the future plural. Where are we going for Christmas next year? We should really think about buying a house in that neighborhood. When we retire, we are going to travel to Italy. The third quiet change is the sudden disappearance of the word we in relation to anything further than 48 hours away. She will talk about her own plans. I think I'm going to take that yoga retreat in the spring. Or, I want to start saving for a new car. If you bring up a trip 6 months from now, she will give you a non-committal shrug and say, yeah, maybe. We'll see how things are then. She isn't being spontaneous, she is being honest. Her brain cannot conceptualize a future with you in it anymore. She is keeping her calendar open because she's waiting for the right moment to make the big decision. The root cause. The normalization of the good enough. Why does this happen? Why do men let these signs slip by until it's too late? It happens because men are conditioned to seek the good enough plateau. We believe that once we have the girl, the hard work is over. We treat the relationship like a trophy on the shelf, rather than a garden that needs daily watering. We prioritize our comfort over her connection. We assume that because she isn't crying, she's happy. But a woman only cries when she still has hope. Silence is the sound of a woman who has given up. The intervention, how to reclaim the helm. If you are reading this and you recognize the withdrawal, the independence, and the lack of future talk, you are in the red zone. You cannot fix this with a bouquet of grocery store roses. You cannot fix this with an expensive dinner. Grand gestures are an insult to a woman who has been emotionally starved for months. To pull her back, you must execute the radical presence protocol. Step 1. Break the silence, the audit. You must be the one to name the ghost. You sit her down, put your phone in another room, and look her directly in the eyes. You say, I have noticed that you stopped fighting with me. I have noticed that you've been handling everything on your own. I see the distance between us, and I know it's because I've been a passenger in this relationship. I am bringing this up because I refuse to let you quietly fade away, and I am taking full responsibility for the wall I let us build. By naming the specific quiet changes, you prove to her that you are finally actually seeing her. Step 2. Anticipatory leadership. You must permanently fire her from the role of the relationship manager. You stop asking, what do you want to do for dinner? Or, what do you want to do this weekend? You survey the landscape of your life, you identify the friction points, and you handle them. You plan the date, you fix the shelf, you audit the finances. You show her through raw, consistent action that you are back at the helm. Step 3. The absorption of the storm. When you start stepping up, she will likely test you. She might unleash months of pent-up resentment. Do not get defensive. Do not explain your side. You stand there like a mountain. You absorb the storm. You say, you are right. I dropped the ball. But I am here now and I am not moving. When a woman sees that you can handle her deepest, darkest emotions without crumbling, she finally feels safe enough to stop being the manager and start being the partner again. The final warning. The quiet changes are the most dangerous because they are the easiest to ignore. Do not be the man who realizes he's in a ghost town only after the last train has left the station. Do not mistake her peace for your victory. A woman's silence is her final warning. Wake up. Read the signs. Take back the helm. You were built to be the anchor and the architect of your shared reality. When you step into that power, the apathy shatters, the connection returns, and the relationship becomes unbreakable. If this breakdown stripped away your excuses and forced you to look at the reality of your relationship, Leave a comment below with the word anchor. Share this with a brother who needs to recognize the signs before he comes home to an empty house. Hold your frame, read the silence, and never stop fighting for the woman you love.